So the example that I always give about the system of Lego bricks, 2 2x4 Lego bricks makes 24 combinations. 3 2x4 Lego bricks makes 9,060 combinations. 6 makes 915 million. And 7 2x4 bricks approaches infinity. So you can imagine all people who play with Lego, they actually encounter infinity. And then that concept alone for me, it's overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming. It's just, you never have the same.
LCP stands for Lego Certified Professionals. The LCP program is a group of 20 people around the world who have been selected by the Lego Group for their skill in using the Lego brick in creative ways. Cool things that LCPs have built have included I think 20-meter tall Christmas tree in the middle of a London train station, a model of the RMS Titanic but split down the center so you could see the entire interior exposed. I myself have created sculptures of animals and plants and nature that have toured botanical gardens around the world. But Wei Wei is unique in that she is the only one in the program that is a woman, and she doesn't build.
I know I said I don't build, but okay, I build dogs. Actually, a lot of dogs. There are many ways to use Legos, and then build them into dogs, use as money is one of them.
This is how we do Lego sculpture. So first we usually start from 3D models like that, and then we go to another software to transform this into bricks. And then the software will also generate the building instruction, and then step by step, layer by layer, we can build the real model with real brick.
We're doing a project at the Himalaya Museum in Shanghai. And then because our project, Brick by Brick, is a free to the public project, so we worked out a deal with the museum that we should build some Lego models in exchange for the space.
So you're paying them with Lego dogs?
You can understand as we're paying for the space with Lego dogs, yes. It's done. Well, Brick by Brick is a new way to play Lego. So the Brick by Brick we're working at now, we're going to build a mandala that's 19 meters by 19 meters. A mandala is a square and circle pattern found in ancient India, Chinese, and Tibetan cultures. It's a metaphysical representation of the whole cosmos. Today, this is the biggest build we will ever encounter. We actually shipped 1.8 tons of Lego bricks from Denmark, and then we're going to encounter thousands of people. So let's not even talk about building or creating something with the 1.8 tons of Lego brick. Just moving it is already a big headache.
2860
乘以5，
这叫啥蓝？我们就叫浅蓝吧。
这不是浅蓝，这个是另外一个蓝。
来，我们统一一下，这个叫什么蓝？这
就叫 Tiffany 蓝。
统一一下，统一一下。
然后这个我管它叫
7500乘以43万。
我觉得。Brick by Brick is always about starting with the space. I pick a space because I'm an architect. I wanted to always tell a story in some sort of special way about the space. Right, the Himalaya project is at the Himalaya Museum, and then because of the central exhibition space is about 400 square meters of like super square, like beautiful high ceiling, like 14-meter tall ceiling. So once I encountered the space, and then I want to do something that will fill the entire space. When we talk about traditional way of building Lego, people build like Star Wars, starships, cars, and cities and Lego towns. But what we do with playable design, we normally don't have an end result in mind completely. What we do is design by process, which is very different from traditional way of designing, which is design by result. Design by result, people focus on the what, but in design by process, we focus on the process, how we build, and we let the how determine the result. Examples of design by process in other field would be art. For instance, Jackson Pollock. When he paints, he doesn't really know what's gonna be in the end, but he has a technique. He splashes paint onto the canvas, and then the process determines the result. Music by process will be using cassette tapes and let it to deteriorate, and the deterioration of the cassette tape becomes the music. Others creates algorithm with computers, and then the computer creates the music. So the end product of design by process is quite different from the traditional way of result-driven design. Design by process is a reflection of the designer's or the builder's subconsciousness, and is more free flow. And then actually the most powerful thing is more surprising in a way. Even though we have the design process all planned and figured out, but in the end, when we engage the public, tell you the truth, I really don't know what's going to be like at the day of the actual event, because it's thousands of creative minds coming together. And then what are they going to do is the randomness of the play, right? And that's how I think I play. When people ask me how I play Lego bricks, that's how I play. Like enjoying the randomness of rolling the dice. Parents usually hate chaos. Tons of Lego bricks, you step on it, it's a huge mess. But out of that chaos comes unlimited potential, and out of chaos comes power of creativity. We use process to control chaos and also create out of chaos. We use math to play with Lego. So we use different combination of Lego bricks and the number of different Lego bricks and also the colors. And in the end, all these elements plays a major part in our designing process.
接下来我们开始创造今天的第一个模式单元啊，怎么做？ 12
After the kids have counted up numbers of bricks to use, we have them make one of 3 basic formations. Everything is then built from these basic formations. This is where the creativity really starts to take over. In the beginning, it seems like the kids are doing many repetitive motions, like counting and then doing the same builds over and over again. And it's precisely these repetitive motions and actions, it kind of drives their brain into activate their subconscious brain. In terms of the mind, the major difference between design by process and design by result is when you design by result, you exercise a lot of spatial reasoning. Design by process is actually a subconscious flow, kind of like when they doodle. They just kind of draw randomly and not thinking whether they want to draw a car or a house or when you're in a dream.
Maybe you have noticed your best ideas comes when you are maybe under your shower or brushing your teeth. Why? Because actually you are doing something without thinking. Your hands are occupied with something that you usually do. And this, I guess, is because most of the creativity comes from your subconscious.
Every build is actually quite impressive. That's the whole fun of it. So essentially, we have... Tell you the truth, before I had my son, 10 years ago, I didn't realize kids existed. And as I pushed my stroller around the city, I realized there are more and more strollers all over the place. What surprised me the most is that my son builds me a heart. I'm a mother. My son is 10 years old. My daughter is 8 years old. And a lot of what I do is actually inspired by my children. Say, for instance, when I teach my son how to play a board game, he always have his own rules. He doesn't follow rules. He creates his own rules, and then he play based on his own creation. These are all ways that I learn from them. The Chinese traditional education system is by result. It's driven by result. Because when you take an exam, you have a score, and then that score is the result. So everybody, not just the students, even in terms of the entire system, the teachers assess based on that score, and then the students is placed based on that score. So the whole entire system is actually based on result. You're a machine. Brick by brick, we don't focus on the result. We focus on the play and engagement. It's the playing experience. And then I believe through playing will unlock the key of creativity.
因为平时可能在家里只是会比较具象的一些东西会去搭，然后这个其实是比较感觉是如果从绘画角度来说比较写意的，然后是很有强调它的结构，然后还会看到旁边的其他的小朋友的已经搭好的作品，你会其实会受到启发。
So with the brick by brick, one of the most exciting part for me is the creative inertia. When you give a blank piece of paper, in the beginning, it's always very difficult to start. The same with the public build. In the beginning, it's also difficult to start. But when you have some builds on the ground, and then you have a couple pieces that's actually quite magnificent. And then because of the birth of these artwork, more that comes later gets taller and bigger and more amazing. without words, without teaching, but you feel the creative inertia in the room. This kind of unconscious, the spatial power, right? The more that you build, the better it gets, and the more people comes in, the better the power is. And then that's where I get my play, is to experience this kind of power of creative birth.
那模式其实是一种数学的方法，等于是把不同的这个组合方式罗列到我们的这个搭建当中。你在做最终作品之前都无法想象最后的样子会是什么，因为它完全是个数学公式。当你完成的那一刻，你的脑子会瞬间吸收所有这些模式带来的组合的图案。
We chose this mandala pattern because it kind of addressed the relationship between the individual with the collective in twofold, right? One fold is on the human level, and the second fold is on the brick level. So on the human level is each individual plates are created by a person, one person, and then but in the end, we have to place all these individual builds together into a big pattern. So you actually experience how an individual will fit within the collective, right? And then from a brick level, it's very simple. One Lego brick is just a piece of plastic. It doesn't have any special creative power, but it's when you put one brick connected to another brick and then connect to many bricks, and in the end, you have the possibility of an infinite combination, and then that's where creativity comes from.